Many times in life we do some upgrading. So say you're taking a trip, going to take a trip someplace a far distance, and you have business class. You say, well, I think I'm going to upgrade to first class. It's a long trip, so I want to get more comfortable. So you upgrade from business class to, say, first class. I was saying a month or so, the NFL is going to have their draft. So all teams are going to try to upgrade. They'll be picking different players that they feel will help them on the defensive offense. So they're going to do what they can to upgrade their team. They can have better performance next year. Well, in a way, Lent is a season of upgrading. Looking at our lives and say, what do I need to upgrade in my spiritual life? What areas of my life that I've been living in darkness, I've been a slave to sin, I've been walking in contrary to the ways of the Lord, and I need to upgrade myself to grow closer and deeper in my relationship with Jesus. Kind of interesting, when we look at the readings today, we find in the first reading from the book of Wisdom that the wicked are coming against the just. And they say the just one says that he boasts that God is his father. Kind of like that verse. They say he boasts that God is his father. What basically he's saying is that I have this relationship with my God. And Jesus says, I know the Father. So we use that term know. It's a whole lot different from knowing about. If you can remember the old days when we had the Baltimore Catechism, they had the questions and answers, and of course the first question was, who made you? Well, God made me. Then the next question was, why did God make me? Well, the response was, God made me to know him, to love him, serve him in this world, and to be happy with him in the next. But if you catch it, it was like, God did not create me to know about him. God created me to know him. And in the first reading, he boasts that he knows his Father. Jesus says, I know the Father. So truly, scriptures call us to intimacy, that God desires relationship with us. In fact, if you think of the most basic philosophical question we can ask as a human being, why do I exist? I don't know how many people ask that question, but the basic philosophical question, why am I living? What's my purpose? Why do I exist? Who created me? What's the purpose of my life? When you read the scriptures, basically it gives the answer. God created us, he loves us. He wants to share in his relationship. He wants to be friends with us. He wants this intimacy. So again, we don't want to just be about knowing about the Lord, which is important. I always give the example, say you have a relationship with someone, and say, we all have a skeleton that gives us form and shape. We need a skeleton. So basically, like our religious doctrines is like the skeleton. We have our doctrine. We have our doctrinal matters. We have our teachings. We need to know that. That's the skeleton. But if you go out with someone, you're really not that excited about their skeleton. It really is not attractive. I mean, imagine just going out with a bunch of bones. I mean, there's no attraction to that. Well, it's the same in spiritual life. If all I have is doctrine, teachings, it's kind of a little boring. It's not that exciting. But when you put flesh on the skeleton, now you got some attraction there. The fleshy part of us is what is attractive. But you need the skeleton. And the same in our spiritual life. If all I have is doctrines and teachings I just know about, and I don't know in a personal way, again, it's boring. But once I have this knowledge of Jesus, I know him personally, that's where the excitement is. That I can have a personal relationship with this God. Kind of amazing. Kind of interesting, the fact that God, the creator of all things, wants to be intimate with us, have a relationship with us. So for us to be able to say, God is my Father. Imagine, God is my Father. And I approach him as Father. What does that mean? Well, I talk just reality. I just talk what's going on with my life. I approach him as my Father. Share my feelings, my dreams, my fears, my worries, and know that he's there for me. He cares about me. He loves me. He's always there present to me. So just have this awareness of the presence of God, that the Lord truly is a God who's alive, He's personal, He's unconditional in His love. And for us to be able to go up and be honest and say, Lord, during this season of Lent, I'm confronting myself. I see the areas of my life that draw me away from you. I see areas of my life that are not pleasing to you. And I want to upgrade. I want to do some upgrading. I want to grow more in your ways. I want to grow more in my relationship with you. And that's our daily prayer, our daily scripture, our daily use of the sacraments. So as we're preparing for the great feast of Easter, that we're going to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, that He came back to life in the body. He overcome the powers of sin and death. That when Easter comes, that we too can say, I have been upgraded. I have been raised to new life. I have turned away from the areas of darkness and sin. And I've grown more in my relationship with my God. May the Lord give all of us the grace that we need to continue to grow in that relationship as we continue our journey to the kingdom. God bless you.